So when you have land, there are things that you have to follow. If the land is owned by you, you've got proof that let's say you've got a title deed or whatever, or the letter from the king. If it's land from the rural areas, you then there are certain things that you have to follow. First of all, there's a thing called a traffic count that needs to be done so that our company can be able to say, yeah, there is a potential. A traffic count means they must count the number of cars that pass through this site or through this property. So that one will determine, is it going to be profitable? The business is going to be profitable because there are cars who are going to be coming and filling up at this place. The second thing that you have to do is an environmental study, because there are people there are companies who are doing those environmental studies to see if building a petrol station is not going to affect the environment. There are people who live in the area, there's water, there's so many things. There are environmentalists in the country who specialize in those things, who are able to say yeah or nay. So those are the two things first that you need to be able to do, so that then at that point you can then go to an oil company, if that's the way you want to go, to say, okay, I've got this piece of land, I've done my traffic count, I've done my environmental study, this is the proof. It can happen. Then that's when you start negotiating with them to say they want to develop the land for you, because clearly you don't have the money, as you have clearly said. They want to develop the land for you because they've seen a potential. Remember, nobody wants to invest in anything, in something that there's no potential. So if their numbers are talking to them, and they can see that they will make money when the petrol station is built and it's operating, then you'll have that agreement with them. You sit down and then you decide whether they're going to build the place for you. When they build, they will put the tanks underground, they'll put the pumps, and they will then build the shop, which is the quick shop or whatever it's called. It depends on the oil company, the building basically. So, and then there are other things that you have to own. There are generators, there are compressors, for the business to move. So the discussion will be around those things. But if you have money, there's also another way where you can build yourself. You can build the infrastructure, which you have to put your own tanks, you have to put your pump, you have to do your own building. And at that stage, you then say to them, everything is there. I just need a supply agreement from you, which means the oil company is not going to own anything. You own the land, you own the building, you own the tanks, you own the pumps. Everything is yours. You just need them to come and supply you with fuel and then brand the place so that it's seen as the brand. We've got brands in the country, those popular ones, the likes of Engine, the Shells, the Totals, the, BPs and all. So you've got that choice, Sasol and them, or A Strong Energy. You can go and approach any of those oil companies to have such an agreement. You can go and knock on all these doors, and then what the best agreement is what will make you happy. So when you then have that agreement, they will then discuss with you what are the margins. How much are you going to make now if they build for you or you build for yourself? Where you make the margins are on the fuel. When you buy, how much you buy and how much you sell for. So that's the difference. So that's where you make your money, between what you buy from the oil company and what you sell for. The difference is yours. Ne? So that's the agreement. So then you go to Shell, and Shell says, okay, I'm going to give you R1.80. Engine says, I'm going to give you R2.40. And then another one will say, you must decide because you are happy with the deal. So that's what happens when you have the land. And then the other part is people like us who don't have the land, who applied with oil companies. So I will say this, all oil companies, they've got websites. So what you do as an individual, you go on the website. There's a Shell website, there's an Engine website, there's also all of them, they've got websites where they advertise these franchise opportunities. You go there, you apply, you put your details, they ask you questions, you put everything there, and then you send it through. The machine, because you're now dealing with the website, the machine will then decide who qualifies. They ask questions like, how much money do you have? The money part always comes first. It's called unencumbered funds. You have to show that there's money, there's something that you have. They will ask you how much unencumbered funds do you have. You write it down. Then after you've been, then the system will then say which people are going to be interviewed, or they're going to ask them for business plans or proof of funds and things like that. Then you'll get a letter later, maybe a month or so. It says, okay, you've passed the process. Now we need you to send us a proof of your funds. We need you to send us a business plan. We need you to send us financial projections. Sometimes they'll give you the number of the person who's selling, the seller at that part, the current operator, to go and ask for information, which will be needed when you put together your business plan. You must do your due diligence so that you can see what you're applying for will make money for you. What the asking price as well. You need to check if the asking price is good enough for you to be able to pay that money, and the loan that you're going to apply for will be able to pay back this amount of money that you're going to apply for. So there's going to be a goodwill, which is the selling price. There's going to be a capital, the money that you need to operate now. Remember, you have to pay for the stock. It's wet stock and the dry stock. The wet stock is the fuel that goes underground, which you have to pay in advance in most oil companies. And then there's a dry stock, which is things that you sell in the shop. Then there are salaries. Then there are uniforms. Then there's a generator. Then there's a compressor. There are a lot of other things. Then there's a deposit at the municipality if you have to pay, go and open your account. So there's a lot. So that's why I always say, have some money in your bank, so that you can be able to...
You have done a great job. There was no need for me to distract her, because she's been doing exactly what I asked for. And I said, so you've been breaking things down, and for that, let me give it to you. Now, let's say, one will say, are there no funding in this space where I can just go into this specific institution and say, guys, I see there's a site here. I've done my inquiries. However, like you are saying, the traffic counts and all the stuff, I don't have the funds to sow such data. So much so that I can get all these things. Probably it will put me somewhere, man, in a better position in terms of funding.
Definitely.
Are there no channels?
No, there are. In this country, because of unemployment, the government is doing their best to try and keep the unemployment rate, especially within the youth. So there are definitely places where you can go. I'm going to mention the government entities because that's where we need to start. I mean, for the youth, there's CEDA, there's SIFT. They are now called SIFA, I think. Yeah, I think there was
yes, I saw that's joined
and SEDFA, yeah. And then there's NEF. And also, I think there's also business partners. There was a stage where business partners was giving money. There's also Masitutuge from Old Mutual. But also, the financial institutions are now willing to give people the money to be able to start businesses. I'm not going to mention them because we all know the financial institutions in the country. They are now starting to see that there is potential in our industry, and they are really opened up, and they're really willing to assist, to say, come, we are here to listen to you. Come apply for funding. But yeah, the likes of CEDA, I know for a fact that CEDA will help you with the due diligence, for instance, to do those things. I'm not too sure about doing the environmental study because those things, they cost money as well. To hire the consultants to do the traffic count, those things, they cost money. It's not like cheap, but it's something that you can always go. Knocking doors is very important when you are a young person and you are willing to do things. People will never close a door on you if they can see that you are a go-getter. You want to do this. You go and you knock on the doors and people listen to you. That's why I'm mentioning CEDA for one, because I know they've been listening to people. I think there was another youth organization. It's just that I'm no longer a youth. I can't remember what it used to be called. I'm sure you remember. It was.
You're not talking about NYDA?
NYDA. I think all those.
Surely you have exited the
long time ago.
Yeah, if you have forgotten
long time
NYDA.
Ago.
But
yes.
It's fine.
So I'm sure, and that's why I'm encouraging young people to go and knock at these doors so that they